going to look at some of the top football business stories with Tesco Mobile for Business. And Peterborough United owner Darragh MacAnthony is sitting alongside me here in studio this morning. I think earlier in the week, Darragh, you said, you defend top flight clubs putting up ticket prices amidst fan protests. You're like, if it has to be done, there's a good reason for it. Yeah, fair to say?
Fair to say. I mean, I was obviously, said a little bit more than that, but, your headline makes sense, yes. I'm not against it, because we're living in a world now where, you run as a business, you're losing millions of pounds, and fortunately the fans end up paying the price.
Well, I think your actual words were clubs are bleeding out their eyes. Tottenham announced season ticket prices would increase by 6% for next season, with the most affordable adult season ticket costing £856, up from £807. Interesting though, the increase in season ticket prices is because they only have raised prices once in the last 5 years by 1.5%.
Fair play.
And there had been, quotes, a significant increase in match day costs.
Yep.
So why does Daniel, good friend of Simon's, Daniel Levy, why does he have to pay himself a sizable bonus? He had a pay increase from 3.2 million to 3.5 million, while taking home a £3 million bonus.
Sure, because in the world we live in,
his annual package, rose to 6.58 million last season. A £3 million bonus.
Yeah, we're dealing in, like I said to you, in a billion and trillion dollar industry. What do you think CEOs get paid? What do you think people at massive companies that are worth billions get paid? I mean, listen, I'm not here to defend Daniel Levy. I've had my own battles over the years, with him and whatever else. So I'm no great friend of his.
Who won them?
I don't brag to be.
Did he win the battles?
I would say it was 50-50. But the reality is Daniel Levy has a contract with Spurs. I know he's a minor shareholder. He doesn't own, he's not a majority shareholder. But he's the guy who's the CEO. He runs the ship. He will have a contract. In his contract will have incentives and bonuses. So, Jim, let me ask you this. If you achieve all those bonuses and hit all those targets and you're due your bonus, would you hand it back? Would you say, no, I can't have that because we've put the prices up somewhere? Or that won't look good publicly in the optics of it, so don't give me the bonus this month. You take that money, you'd be out here in a heartbeat.
Maybe if I'm going to take my $3 million, I wouldn't be charging the fans anything more.
And you say that, but at the end of the day, I always say walk in somebody's shoes for a day. This is the business.
You can see what it looks like.
No, of course I can see the optics around it, and you knew that was going to happen.
You're stopping concessions, and in the meantime, I'm taking a £3 million bonus.
I understand that the optics suck, but this is real life we're talking about. There are CEOs out there who get paid 50, 60 million a year, and their companies have lost money in their quarterly results, but they have work contracts. I've got people on contracts with me, and if they hit targets, they make money. If they win a cup this Sunday, they all get a bonus. Just because I'm going to put season ticket prices up, should I come out the next day and say, well, actually, Barry Fry doesn't deserve his bonus or the manager for winning the cup trophy?
But this is at a time when you yourself say clubs are bleeding out their eyes.
But he's an employee of the club.
Well, they can't be bleeding that much at Tottenham if he can take home a £3 million bonus, which, as you rightly say, is in his contract. But he doesn't need to if financially times are so tight.
And you might be right if he was the 100% owner. I would say the optics are horrible. But you're an employee with a work contract, and by the way, I believe he hasn't had one in 5 years. So there has been a period of time where he's foregone any kind of bonus. He's opened a magnificent stadium. They've obviously hit metrics targets. They've done well as a club the last 12 months with obviously hiring Ange. So he's obviously due a bonus that's hit a target in his contract, and he's got paid. Like I said, what's he meant to do? Say no? He is.
Well, maybe.
Okay, but again, I would say he's not the majority owner. He works for somebody. I cannot see you or Lord Jordan ever turning down a bonus that you actually hit in your contract.
It's just hard to square the circle at the start of the sentence where you say, "No, money has never been so tight as it is in football right now.
Sure.
Hence, we have to rein in and remove the concession for new senior season ticket holders.
It's easy in the media.
65 and above.
It's easy in the media. It's not hard when there's an agenda around that. So it all works. No, Jim.
There's no agenda.
It works. No, but it works perfectly. In the same week of fans are up in arms about this, and this, suddenly a big nasty CEO pays himself a few £1 million bonus. So that's easy. It fits into the whole agenda. But one doesn't necessarily go with the other. You have to separate them. So I've got a CEO of Peterborough at the end of the day. She doesn't own a football club. She's a CEO. If I turn around and sit there and say to her tomorrow, look, we have to put the season tickets up on our older fan base because they're the wealthier fan base. Done. How do you feel about that 20 grand bonus that you were due if you hit attendance numbers this year? You've hit the attendance numbers. Because Jim White doesn't agree with it because I'm putting the prices up on the OAPs, can you forego the 20 grand you're due?
I'm not the one that's
protesting.
No,
but I was going to answer your question. What should she and her right say back to me?
The decision would be hers to make.
No.
I wouldn't tell her what decision to make.
You know that's wrong. You know you turn around as an employee. If that was your daughter or if that was your friend, you turn around and go, no, that's in your contract. You're due the money. Take the money.
What does this look like, though, to you? What is it, the optics of it, if you like? And I would emphasise, Darragh, there is no agenda. It's very amusing.
That winds you up when I use the word agenda.
No, when we hear, it's too easy for people outside the media. And you're kind of you've got one foot in the media these days. Simon's full square in it.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, you cannot say we're removing the concession for new season ticket holders, 65 and above. And then quietly, and not quietly, it's there in black and white, take 3 million of a bonus.
But you can't if you're an employee. I keep going back to it. I agree with you. If he was the 100% owner, I would say the optics.
You wouldn't do it, would you?
No, because I would go, I'm due the 3 million bonus. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait a few months and take it then.
What, quietly when no one's looking?
Not quietly, but I've just, because right now Jim White's on there harping on and beating on about it on the radio, about the OAPs and all these grannies I've
are you
sent away
you
from
would wait a
football
bit before you
granddads
awarded
and
it
whatever
to yourself?
else. You know, the optics are terrible. I would wait a bit. I'd be clever about it. But at the end of the day, like I just said to you, the guy's an employee. He's the chairman of a Premier League football club, one of the biggest in the world, and he gets paid a salary of 3 million. Most of these people, you go to the NFL, the commissioner in the NFL is paid 40 million a year. People in like high positions get paid pretty well.
I get that.
The CEO of Apple earns 250 million a year.
Yeah.
All right. This is the way it works. That's big business, Jim. Outside of this radio studio, there's a lot more going on out there in the real world, and they don't always look at the optics. You're right. But in this case, he's done what he's done.
He's done what he's done. The fans did what they did. They protested about it.
Sure, but it ain't going to make any difference.
It doesn't make any difference.
No.
So in other words, people like myself should just pipe down because that is a fact of life in the world of business.
No, the beauty about our democracy in the world we live in is you are free to say what you want unless you live in Scotland.
I love it. We'll talk a bit more about Tottenham, actually. Did you get on with Daniel Levy when you at the end of negotiation? Was it a fair play, Daniel?
No.
I don't mind having a tussle with you.
No. It was over a player. It ended up costing me 50 grand. It didn't need to because he at the last minute changed something. So I was quite angry at the time. But it's fine. We have a great relationship with David Pleat's one of my favourite people in football, and he works personally for Daniel. He goes out scouting young players. So David's great. So look, I like Spurs. We've had a good relationship with them. I haven't spent a lot of time with Daniel Levy. But I'm not here to defend Daniel Levy. He's big enough and bold enough to do that himself. I just think sometimes it's so easy nowadays to get outraged about everything. This should be called outrage sport.
It's Jim White and Darragh MacAnthony on Outrage Sport.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.